What's up, everybody? Welcome to Human Innovation Tarot. My name is Eddie with Imagine Life Development Center, here to do a little of everything reading. We're going to take a look at new love, we're going to take a look at past love, and we're going to take a look at money and career. Pluto has officially moved into Aquarius, so we have that going on as well. And so yeah, we're just going to hop right in. If you're new to my channel, I greatly appreciate it if you like, share, subscribe, all the things. And let's see what comes out. So we're going to start with, I'm going to start by pulling a row of cards. So the first row here will be new love. The second row or the middle row will be past love. And the third row will be money and career. Okay. So again, take what resonates, leave the rest behind. There should be something here for everybody. I'm going to use, I'm just going to get all the cards laid out first, and then we'll get into breaking down the reading. So if you want to skip forward to bypass all the card shuffling, please do so. All right, we're back. So again, just as a quick reminder, the first row here is new love. So for those of you that are interested in new love, we have this here. I know some of the cards down here are a little off camera, but don't worry. I'll be sure to show you guys everything as we start to work through all the cards. Middle row, past love, for those of you that are wanting to know about past love and all of that. And then the third and final row has to do with career, money, and finances. Okay. And I'm just now realizing that everything looks a little disjointed on the camera here, which for me, being an OCD Virgo, I get a little bit OCD about it. Okay, anyways, we'll try not to get too OCD here. All right, so let's start here with new love. So first of all, this reading is going to be between now and stepping into the new year, all right? And as I mentioned before, at the beginning of the reading, Pluto has just entered into Aquarius, which will be here for the next 20 years. Obviously, I'm sure there's all kinds of videos out on the interwebs for those of you who want to explore the environment, the energetic environment that this influence is going to have on us collectively, which will obviously pour into your life on a specific and individual level. For those of you in the U.S., obviously, we've just gone through or just completed an election year. So, obviously, I'm not getting into any of all of that. That's not what this channel is about. But the point is we're approaching the end of 2024, and a lot has happened this year. A lot of shifts, a lot of changes, a lot of energies, a lot of things have occurred. Now, if I were you, and this is just a little extra, quick little side rant extra before I get into the specifics here, is I would actually journal. And even if you're not used to journaling, it's fine. You don't have to be a journal or something, but just make a note. Like if you just get a piece of paper out and just write where you are right now, put the date, the time and the date, and just kind of just like in a paragraph, describe where you are in life right now. Like this is where I was on November 20th, 2024. This is where I was at this point in my life. And so as you step into 2025 with all these new energies happening and these big shifts and things that are occurring here. And let me also add, as we move into 2025, we are going to be going into a 9 universal year. Okay. Talking about cycles here. Now we're moving into numerology. So not only has Pluto entered into Aquarius, but we're reaching the tail end of an 8 universal year. So how do you get that? Well, you add up the calendar year. So it's 2024. So 2 plus 2 plus 4 equals 8, right? So 2025, we're going to be stepping into the beginning of a 9 year. And so in numerology, things end at 9. So new beginnings start at 1, and a closeout of an entire 9-year cycle is coming to an end in 2025. So, this is why I'm telling you, you might want to write down a journal about something, because it's going to be pretty incredible, I think, for a lot of people to see what's happened in the last 9 years, right? And just even in the last four years, we've gone through a lot of stuff collectively. We went through a pandemic. I mean, a lot of things that I think that we've just forgotten, even though I think a lot of us, if we stopped and thought about it, it seems like just yesterday we were dealing with lockdowns and the pandemic and all this. It seems like it's been a minute, but it also, when you stop and think about it, it feels like it was just yesterday, right? And so my point is when you journal, and you look back, you're going to start to see, like, man, how far have I come in the last 9 years? Because we're talking about a 9-year cycle, right? And so we're entering a very, very transformative period here, and I think it'll just be really cool for a lot of you to put down where you are and then review it in even like the new year. We're less than what? It's the 20th. So we're less than 45 days from 2025. That's how close we are to the new year. We're almost a month away. So, all that to say is this will be good for the next, between now and the new year, for sure. Okay. So if you find that any of this resonates for you, then this could be happening or occurring between now and the new year. Or maybe just a little bit into the new year. So like mid-January, or maybe even the end of January, right? But just again, keep track of, make a note or something, because I really feel for a lot of you, things that are about to start happening and occurring are going to be milestones for you. For many of you out there, I feel strongly that a lot of you guys are about to start to experience some incredible milestones in your life. And it's going to be, for a lot of you, it's going to seem so ridiculous and so insane that you're going to wish you had written it down, right? Because people just won't believe it. And it's like, well, if you document it, then you'll have the proof that this is where I was, this is what was going on in my life. And now I have documented historical proof that this is what was going on, and then boom, all these things started to occur and change in my life, or whatever, or what you manifest, what changes, what shifted, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And it'll be just really cool for you to have that historical reference to go back and kind of prove to people that this stuff is real, right? So that's just a little bit of a side note, but again, I felt called to mention that, right? So let's start here for those of you who are looking for new love. Now, just really quick, a really quick second caveat. I just want to say everything is really crystal clear, and I love that about this reading, because as the cards were coming out and hitting the table, as I think any reader would admit, we really like when the energy is clear, it's clean, and is very direct, right? So this reading is going to be very simple, which I enjoy. So for those of you that are looking for new love, right? You guys have been going through a period of an awakening here, and the potential partner that you will encounter and run into, the person who's going to come into your life, they will match you. They will have gone through their own awakening during these last 9 years. Okay. So, a lot of you guys are leveling up spiritually. You're leveling up in your, in your full life's development here. Now, underneath this, we have, the Poised card, which is essentially the star card, in this oracle deck. So this is you getting what you wished for. This is you getting what you want, your dreams, your wishes coming true. This is you being poised or set up to receive blessings, getting what you want. This is hope, renewal, wishes coming true, and you being in a really, really good position, a high vibrational place for you to attract the things that you want into your life. And if these two cards alone weren't good enough, then it gets even better. Okay. Then you get the sun. So now we're going out into the tarot now. And the sun is obviously the happiest card in the deck. So things are really, really, really about to get good. Okay. There's going to be a lot of excitement. There's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of playfulness. But a very, very, very happy time is coming up. And check this out. One of these cards here, obviously, this card says you deserve love. And then the other card is wedding. A lot of you guys are about to meet your forever person. So if you've been searching for love, love has been the thing that you've been most desiring. A lot of you guys are going to meet your person, the person that you're going to marry. You're going to meet that person, assuming that you haven't already met them. It's not somebody from your past, whatever. And I don't think for a lot of you, for some of you, Ken, it's going to be, the percentages are going to change. For some of you, this could be, again, a past person who's gone through a spiritual awakening. They've changed. They're going to reconnect with you. And you guys could end up going the distance, come the new year. For the rest of you, you're attracting somebody brand new into your life who is in alignment with you. So you guys are obviously on the same page. You're not dealing with toxic relationships anymore. You're not dealing with past people anymore. You're not dealing with any of that BS anymore. So you have somebody that you're attracting into your life who is in alignment with you across the board. This person is your future person. This is somebody you're going to marry. And again, you could be meeting this person between now and potentially, the end of January. So, but if we take the timetable off we take the time out of it, because again, it's hard to predict time because there's free will involved. At the very least, even if we think really, really far out into the future, you're going to meet this person this coming year. So 2025, whether it's in January or whether it's December of 2025, it doesn't matter. At any point between now and this coming year, you're attracting, you're manifesting, and you're going to meet the person that you're going to marry. That's for a great, great deal of you, okay? So if you've been waiting for love, this is a huge, 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 all of this is beautiful in this row. Any cards could have come out here, by the way. Any cards could have come out here in this row. Good card, positive card, and then two positive cards. Now, the only thing, and when I say only thing, I don't mean this in a bad way. It's basically, there's this reminder here. You deserve love. You are lovable. And I think that for some of you, for half of you, this is a reminder to not forget the work that you've done on yourself so that you never fall back into that trap of not feeling worthy or good enough for love, no matter what happens, right? And because we go through cycles and periods in life, we go through highs and we go through lows. And this is a high period. Like you're entering a mountaintop period. And everything's going to feel like butterflies, unicorns, fairies, and rainbows. And that's awesome. Those are the time. And when we are on the mountaintops, we should be grateful for that. We should hang on to that. We should remember that and appreciate it and not take those moments, those times for granted, because eventually at some point in the future, we're going to go back into a valley again. That's just the nature of life. And so what this card is essentially saying is to never forget, whether you're on the mountaintops or whether you're in the valleys, never, ever, ever forget that you are worthy of love. We cannot allow external circumstances to define our worthiness, right? Like you have to know that you're worthy of love, whether things are good or whether things are bad. We can't allow the things that are happening outside in the external world, because that's always going to change. It's always fluctuating. Is it sunny outside every day? No. Sometimes it's gross. Sometimes it's rainy. Sometimes it's cold. Sometimes it's foggy. Sometimes it's too hot outside, right? Sometimes it's unbearably hot outside. It's like, hey, I would actually like some rain today. I'd like a little fog today. I'd like it to be overcast. We don't always want it to be bright and sunny and burning hot outside, just like we don't want it to be gloomy and rainy outside all the time. But whatever the conditions are, we can never forget that we are worthy of love, because we are love, okay? So that's just kind of a little bit of a reminder. It's not a bad thing by any means, because all this for new love is amazing. It's amazing energy. But this right here is essentially just simply saying, no matter what's happening in your life, never forget this fundamental truth, this fundamental fact, that you are always worthy of love no matter what happens to you. The good, the bad, in the rain, the sun, you deserve love no matter what, because you are love. All right. So let's move over here to the second row for past love. Now, for those of you who've been wondering about a past love, a past person, to just summarize the reading, and obviously I'll go through each card. This is really about letting go, releasing something. Obviously, there was something that happened here with this person. This person, first of all, this person was not aligned with you. This person isn't meant for you. Now, can I say that for the rest of your life and the rest of their life, it's impossible that maybe at some point in the future that you and this person couldn't potentially, that something couldn't happen? I mean, nothing's impossible technically, but for right now, or for whatever's happened for you guys, the advice here is to release. It's a time to let go of this person. It's time to release yourself from the past. It's time to move on from it. The next card we have is mending, and we have no place like home. So the mending card is obviously, and I know you can't really see it, but we have the tower down here as well. So, the tower is underneath here, and then we have some other cards that I'll read to you here. So the mending card and the no place like home cards here. So we have mending, and we have no place like home. Just showing you guys the cards here. I can't assume, obviously, that, you guys know these cards or have seen them before, or that you're not a first-time, person to this channel, or just to, getting card readings in general. So I don't want to make those assumptions. I feel like most of you are. And then there's the tower, which I'll get to in just a second. And then we have these cards down here. We have confused, we have fantasies, we have complicated, and we have denial. And I will, of course, I'll read those and we'll discuss all of this. So let's go back up top here, and let's start with the obvious. So the obvious is something ended between you and this past person. You were hurt. Now, the specifics don't really matter, because the universe is simply saying whatever happened to you, whatever happened in this situation, whether you just broke up, whether they cheated, whether they lied, whether it just didn't work out, however this ending with this past person, recent past, long past, I mean, I feel like this is obviously somebody that, for the majority of you were in a relationship within this past year, right? So we're talking within the farthest back would have been, earlier this year. So maybe you broke up with this person back in January or February or something, but it's somebody that you were in a relationship with this year, just to be clear, right? So I'm talking about that person. Now, if you're thinking about somebody from like 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 10 years ago, or something else, then that's probably the wrong person. This is a recent, semi-recent person, within the last 12 months person, okay? Just to be crystal clear on that. So something ended, whatever happened, there was a tower. This relationship blew up. It ended. The advice for you is to release from this, obviously, to move on. It's time for you to heal, to mend and heal from this, and to understand and learn that this no place like card, this no place like home card is what I meant to say, is really kind of like the the advice for you, for those of you here in this middle, this past love middle section, or for those of you that resonate rather with this middle section, it's basically saying that for a lot of you, and I'm guilty of this because I've gone through this myself, is we have a tendency to tolerate people in our lives that are bad for us. We're willing to tolerate a lot more toxic, traumatic, or just poor and shitty behavior from people when we're so desperate for connection and love. And again, I'm guilty of this in my past, where it's like you meet somebody, and at first, of course, when you first meet somebody, everything is great. But then the longer you get involved with that person, and the more that time goes on, the more you start to see who they really are. And for a lot of us, we start to ignore red flags. We tolerate things, we put up with things, or we just intuitively, maybe we even know they're not right for us, or we're kind of like kicking a dead horse. We're sticking in this thing for far too long. We're sticking it out, riding it out for far too long. We know it's not going to last. We know it's going to end at some point. Whatever it is for you, right? Whatever resonates for you. And the reason that we tolerate this, and we all get what we tolerate, by the way. So if you're miserable, it's, you can't blame anybody. If you're willing to tolerate something, then you can't blame somebody else for those conditions, right? Like if you're willing to tolerate somebody who lies to you, cheats on you, betrays you, or is abusive or neglectful or rejects you, if you're willing to tolerate that and attach yourself to that and stay in that again and again and again, and you're unwilling to let go and release from that, then you can't blame that other person anymore, because we all get what we tolerate, right? There's a level of accountability and responsibility that we have to take in allowing ourselves to be in these conditions because we're desperate, or we just want love so bad that we're willing to put up with anything. And that's not self-love. That's not self-respect. And that's certainly not gonna attract what column 1 over here, what they're getting. They're doing the work. When the people in column 1 here, you go through an awakening because there's a level of personal responsibility and accountability that occurs that allows that spiritual awakening. Spiritual awakening isn't just something that just happens to you randomly. It's something you choose because you're choosing to do the work. And doing the work isn't always comfortable. It's not always quick. It's not always fast. It's not always easy. But you just know you get to a certain point where you're done. You get sick and tired of being sick and tired. You get to a point where you're done tolerating shit and crumbs and being treated a certain way or not getting things in life that you want. And it's like, you finally you reach that threshold and you say, no more. I'm sick and tired of this. I'm not going to live this way anymore. I'm tired of, begging for crumbs from people. I'm tired of living at this level down here. I'm tired of not living at my full potential, or allowing people to use me, abuse me, to take from me, whatever that is for you, right? You just reach that point where you're just done. You're sick and tired of it. And you just know that nothing's going to change. Intuitively, spiritually, that nothing's going to change unless you change it, right? We all have to participate in our own rescue. That's what column 1 is doing. That's why column 1 is going to manifest the love of their life, because they've gone through all of this already. So for those of you that resonate with column 2, take a page or take a lesson, learn a lesson from column 1, because they've already walked through this, and that's the thing, is that we all have to learn how to do this part right here, because you can't get to this new love that column 1 has without going through the process that you're being asked, as you column 2ers out there. You can't get here without going through this process. And that's for everyone. Everyone has to make that choice. Everyone has to say, you know what? Enough is enough. No more. I'm drawing a line in the sand. From this moment moving forward, I'm not going back to anything in my past. I'm not tolerating that crap anymore. I'm going to move forward. I'm going to grow. I'm going to learn. I'm going to do whatever it takes to become the type of person that I need to become and take responsibility for my life, and do what I can do and control the only thing that I can control, which is myself, so that I can get here. And the universe will reward your hard work and your effort. And that's what this No Place Like Home card is all about. So coming full circle to what I meant to say with this No Place Like Home card is it's saying you have to be that for you. You have to be your lover in this season. You have to give yourself that attention and that validation. You have to provide yourself that reassurance. You have to show yourself that you were good enough, right? You have to be your own best friend. You have to become your own ally. You have to become your own lover, your own partner. You have to make love to yourself, right? I have a friend and she has a saying. It's like, if you're not willing to F yourself, then why would anybody else want to, right? And she's not wrong about that, right? And so we have to become that thing. We have to learn how to find peace with ourselves, right? Before we start looking outside of ourselves to get our needs met. And that's what this card is saying, right? So, and obviously, so continuing here for column 2, obviously the Tower, we talked about that. Just saying, hey, this relationship, it wasn't, it was meant to serve a purpose, to teach lessons, but obviously the relationship ended. And then we have these last few cards here at the bottom, which are really just more, I think, about, giving confirmation, or if you needed the extra confirmation of, well, what are they thinking, or just some extra information. Not, as if all this up here already wasn't telling enough, like as if this wasn't enough information, because again, with the release card up here, the universe is like saying, hey, I don't want you to be fixated on this. I don't want you to ruminate on this and be focused on this and just hyper overthinking about it and fixating and obsessing over it. They want you to move on from it, right? But we do have a few cards down here. So the first one was confused. So I feel like this person obviously left you feeling confused. And there's a few key words here at the bottom. It says their head is spinning, not sure what to do, need to talk it out. But I just feel like, that's kind of the energy you were left in most of the time with this person. You never knew where you stood with this person. That's one of the reasons why it could never progress. Now we have fantasies. I also think that this has a lot to do with you guys. Now, it could have been that other person. Maybe they were fantasizing a little bit too. But I find that usually one person tends to fantasize more than the other person does, right? Like that's usually what happens here. So we have this card says daydreams about you, feeling infatuated may not be real. Yeah. So I think a lot, and that's why we miss or ignore a lot of the red flags early on in a relationship, is because we are fantasizing. We have this idea, or we project this fantasy onto somebody, and what we're really falling in love with, what we're attracted to, is this false reality that we projected onto this person, which isn't who the real person is. And then it takes time for that fantasy to wear off, and who that real person starts to shine through, and we come into contact with who they really are. And then that's when things obviously take a turn for the worse. And it wasn't that person it's not that person wasn't who they were the whole time. It's just that we were so invested in the fantasy, we were incapable of seeing the person for who they really were. We were incapable of seeing those red flags, right? And that's why it was complicated here. So we have this complicated card, says seeing several people, won't call it a relationship, on again, off again. So that could have been true. Maybe there were other people involved. Maybe they were, an avoidant, or maybe it was an on again, off again, toxic kind of trauma bond relationship. There's lots of, your specific situation in regards to that. Again, not that it matters, because, the universe is saying, hey, it's time to let this go. Because the sooner you let this go, then the sooner you can move over here and you can be like column 1 over here, and you can attract new love. Which, by the way, this isn't just a specific set of people, okay? Which is why I spent a lot of time at the beginning of this reading saying you should journal. I made reference to the changes of energy and cycles and things, because this applies to all of you. Just to be crystal clear, just to be extra crystal clear, okay? So yes, you as the viewer, you may resonate with certain parts of this reading more than another part of the reading. Sure, that's fine. But the reality, regardless of what resonates for you or not, is this energy applies to everyone in a collective reading. Whatever card is on this table applies potentially to everyone. Okay. So you're not excluded. For those of you that, because we've been talking in pile 2 right now, we're almost done with pile 2, and we're going to move to the career. But for those of you in pile 2 so far, you're not excluded from pile 1. If you release and you heal and you let go of this, which is what the advice is from the universe for pile 2, then you can move right over here into pile 1. And I mean, you're just as likely to meet the person that you could end up marrying just like they are. So you're not excluded from this. And healing doesn't have to be this huge, long, take 20 years of your life to let go and release and this and that. And it's going to take all this time for you to manifest somebody. That's not true, right? Time is an illusion. That's not true. However, the sooner that you let go of all of this, and I'm not saying that it's easy, because if it was, everybody would be doing it. It's not easy at all. And I can say that because I've gone through relationships that were very hard for me to let go of. But the sooner that you release and you heal from this, the sooner that you move over into this energy, and you can start attracting the type of person who will love you, and you'll never have to go through this again, right? This season of your life will be done. Now, that doesn't mean that there's not going to be different challenges when you find the person, you meet the love of your life. Of course, there's always going to be challenges in life. There's going to be challenges in every relationship, but it's not going to be these challenges, and you're not going to be treated this way, and you're never going to have to go back and relive or re-experience that. You shut the door on that. That's the whole purpose of learning from something, so that you don't have to repeat the lesson, right? That's the beauty of this. And so the last card we have here is denial. So I feel like this is 50-50. For some of you guys, the viewers out there, you guys have been in denial about this. And for the rest of you, the person that hurt you, they've been in denial. They didn't want to take responsibility or accountability. You know, they're in denial of their own demons and shadows and the way that they're hurting people and the way they're hurting themselves. But you guys can't take responsibility for their part of what they've done. You can only take responsibility for your part, right? And that's all you have to take responsibility for. Just take responsibility for yourself, your part in it, the lessons that you've learned, and the work that you can do, knowing that you can only control yourself, and just move forward and move forward and heal from this, so that you can grab hold of this column 1 energy that's here for you. Because like I just said a second ago, this energy is here for all of us. It's here for me. It's here for you. It's here for column 2ers. It's here for the 3rd column for career. This energy is here. It's available for all of us, right? There's that saying, the rain falls on the wealthy and the poor, the good and the bad. Right? And that's a true statement. The sun shines on the wealthy and the poor. The sun shines on the evil and the good. It just is. It's just an energy that's here for everyone, no matter what you're doing, right? So all of this beautiful energy here for column 1 is available for all of us. And so if you want this new love, you want this happily ever after energy while it's here, you want to grab hold of that, the universe is gifting us this beautiful energy, saying, hey, there's a great opportunity coming up for a lot of you guys to meet your soulmates, the people that you're meant to marry, and all of that. That energy is here, right? Do you want to grab hold of that? I do. I would. I'm going to grab hold of this, right? But just like this energy is here and affecting all of us, so is this energy. So we all have to check ourselves and say, what do I need to release? What do I need to let go of? What past relationships? What do I need to make space for, make room for? What do I need to heal from so I can move into this energy, right? So, and that's why this denial card, the last card for pile 2, and we're wrapping this column up, and we're going to move over here to career and money. But this last card in denial is the most important one, because being in denial is like pretending something just doesn't exist or not wanting to take responsibility for it, which means not healing from it, not learning from it, not growing from it, and not moving into this beautiful energy here, right? We can't pretend. We can't be a victim. We can't blame. We have to take responsibility. We have to take accountability. We have to be willing to do whatever it takes to be able to move and grab hold of this. Because if you want to be in denial, you can. That's a choice. You can choose to be a victim. You can choose to blame and all that kind of thing, be entitled and all that kind of stuff. But you're going to suffer. And you're going to miss this opportunity, and you're going to have to wait until this energy comes back around for you to get another chance at it. So why wait? That just doesn't make sense to me, right? Like, why wait when the energy is here for the taking now? Right? That's just, but that's just, that's my logic. Maybe other people out there think differently than I do. I'm sure they do. Okay, so let's move over to money, finances, and career. Okay, so the first thing here is we have recovery. And I'm just going to go through the cards real quick. Not a line for you, or not for you, rather. And then we have this great card, the 9 of Pentacles. And then we have these 3 cards at the bottom, which are gifts, guidance, and opportunity. I will read those to you in just a moment. So let's go through column 3 now. This is money, finance, and career. So recovery here. So the first thing that came to me, which was very crystal clear to me, is that we are all, because this is collective reading, we are all about to enter into a time of financial recovery. Okay. So, and again, I didn't choose this card. Okay. So this isn't a bias. This isn't me. I don't do politics. I don't have a party. I don't pick a side. I don't do any of that bullshit. First of all. Okay. I'm 43 years old. I've never voted, not once in my entire life. I've never voted ever. Not once. Okay. So just to be crystal clear, this card came out by itself. I did not choose this card. Okay. So I have no bias about anything. So, but the card that came out, this recovery card, is saying that we are about to, the pendulum was over here. Inflation. Things were financially very difficult for the last 4 years. That's just a statistical fact. It's not politics. It's just a fact. The pendulum is swinging over to this side again now. All right. So, and this is a good thing, which means for a lot of us who've been struggling financially, the pendulum is going to swing over to this direction. So if whatever your finances have been like, inflation is going to go down, interest rates are going to go down, costs of housing and things are going to go down. It's not going to happen overnight. Obviously, it takes time for things, for those changes to be felt and to be seen, just like seasons, like on the calendar, it'll say, this is day one of winter or fall or whatever. Well, that's not really when you feel winter or fall. It's not on the exact calendar day that it begins, right? That's just a day on the calendar. It may take a whole month before you start to feel or even see the effects of fall or winter, right? Like when the trees don't start changing color on the day that it says fall on the calendar. It might take a month or two for the leaves to change color and all of that kind of stuff, right? But this is a good sign, though. So recovery is saying, hey, financially, we're all about to start to go through a process of recovery. The pendulum was over here. Things were difficult financially. It's going to start recovering and swinging over this way. So this is very, very, very good news here for all of us. Now, the not for you card has a lot to do with those of you who, and this is more of a specific group of people out there. So this isn't going to resonate for all of you. But for those of you who have been in unhappy jobs, or you've been just grinding, you've been working, or, you haven't been able to find work, in the last 4 years or however long, whatever that is for you, right? If we're going to just if I was to break it into isolate two groups of people, there's those of you who have had to work jobs that, just because you have to. It's like, man, inflation and cost of things and the cost of living. I had to work jobs that in the past I would have never chosen, but I didn't have a choice because I have to live. I have to eat. I have to pay my bills, right? You're not going to have to do that anymore. Okay. You're not going to have to do that for much longer. You might have to do it a little bit longer, but you're not going to do that for much longer. So for those of you who felt like you were forced into working these jobs that you hate, just so that you could pay your bills, live, and keep up with the cost of living, with inflation and everything being so crazy and astronomical and high, that time is coming to an end, right? So as things recover more and more and more, then more of you guys out there will be able to end and quit these jobs that you hated, but you had to work those jobs, So maybe you had, once upon a time, you had a primary job, but then when inflation hit in, 2, 3, 4 years ago, you had to get a second job. Maybe some of you had to get a third job, right? And you're like, man, all I do is work and work and work and work and work and work. And I hate these jobs and it's sucking my life away, right? Well, you're not going to have to do that for much longer. So this is good news. Again, it may not happen overnight, but the further we get into 2025, you guys are going to the pendulum's going to swing to the positive, and a lot of you guys will be able to quit these jobs, and you'll be able to go back to working just one job, and hopefully a job that you like, right? Now that's group one. Now group two, this card, not for you, is saying some of you guys know that it's been long overdue. That the job that you've been working, the career, whatever it is, it's the status quo, it's mediocre, it doesn't resonate with you, it hasn't resonated with you for a really long time, and you just know that you're ready for something new. And so this card is saying, hey, now is the time. Like, now is the time to start that new job, to put yourself out there, to go out, to step outside of your comfort zone, to go for it. Now is the time to do the thing that you've been thinking about doing, whatever that thing is, right? Whether it's start your own business, change jobs. It could even be a creative thing. It doesn't have to be, moving your, changing careers. It doesn't have to be that extravagant. It could be something like, hey, I want to write a book. I want to open an Etsy shop, or I've been thinking about, teaching a class, or tutoring, or doing something on the side that's something that I personally enjoy. It's a hobby. I'm passionate about it. I love it. So why not make a little extra bit of money while I do it? I could teach somebody else to do it, right? Some of you, it might be as simple as starting your own YouTube channel, right? Doing your own tarot channel or any type of channel, right? So this is saying that whatever group of people I'm talking to now, in the second category here of people, it's saying, it's time. It's time to stop settling, and take a risk, step outside of your comfort zone, and just take whatever small step that you can, whatever step you can comfortably tolerate, and just make small moves towards those goals, and you won't have it all figured out. You won't know everything. You won't know if you're doing it all right. Doesn't mean you can't learn. Do your research, do whatever you got to do. Be smart about any steps you take in life, especially now that we live in the information age, right? You can find, with YouTube and Google, you can find an answer on anything now. Like it's ridiculous to not be able to get insights, answers, or learn, or to get advice or anything. And most of it's free content now. Like, you don't even have to pay for your professional advice anymore, because it's all out here for free if you're willing to dig deep enough and search for it, right? So, but the advice for you guys is, the universe wants you guys to bet on yourself and to take risks and to believe in yourself and know that the universe has your back. There's a reason that there's that thing inside of you. There's a reason you have that passion and desire. And I know it's scary to step out and do it, but that's why the universe is saying, and the message here for you is, just do this. The smallest little step that you can take will compound interest. You take one small step today, and then another, and then another, and another, and that will compound. And over time, you'll realize one tiny step will become a million steps. Right? And a million steps might be when you hit 100,000 subscribers on YouTube, or when you realize, hey, I don't have to work my career anymore that I hate, because I can live financially, and pay all of my bills doing this thing that I love now. That millionth step of all these tiny little steps that you took might be, I can't believe I got here. And I'm happy and I'm passionate and I'm fulfilled doing something that I love doing. That's the point, right? So, and that's what this Nine of Pentacles is all about. The Nine of Pentacles is the universe giving you the reassurance that, yes, if you trust the universe, even though it might seem crazy, it might seem ludicrous, it might require a shit ton of courage to go do this thing, and you're like, I don't know how I'm going to do it, I don't know, and I have so many doubts and insecurities and blah, 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 is the timing. And the universe is saying, trust me, trust me, trust me, trust me. And if you trust the universe, despite all of these things, and again, I'm not telling you just jump off and be stupid. I'm not saying don't go into it without any type of plan or any type of knowledge or without doing your due diligence. Certainly would not tell anybody to do that, nor is the universe telling you to do that. But if you do those things, if you have done your due diligence, the universe is saying there are certain, as long as you're being responsible for your part, then you can trust me to do my part. That's what the universe is saying. Trust me to have your back. Trust me to do my part. I will bring you the clients. I will bring you the knowledge. I will bring you the people. I will bring you the resources. I will bring you whatever it is that you need to be successful at this. And this card is saying you will be successful at it. You will be financially independent, financially free. That's what the Nine of Pentacles is about, right? It's very, very, this is a very, very positive. I mean, all the cards in this whole reading are actually very positive. Even column 2 is positive. So there's not really anything negative in this reading. And this is like a 3-in-1 reading. Past, new love, past love, and career. Any cards could have come out on the table, and even if I just stepped away from the table and just let's pretend these cards are all on the table and I wasn't the person doing this reading, right? And you asked me to walk in your room. So I walked into your room and they said, hey, look at the cards that I have on the table. I'm like, okay. And I looked at these cards. I didn't know that you were doing a reading. I didn't know what questions you asked. I knew nothing. Like I just a complete stranger that just happens to know what tarot cards mean and all that. And they say, hey, look at the cards on this table. And I look at the cards and they say, what card or cards on this table are negative? The only card that the first card that I would look at, I would say, well, this one right here, obviously the Tower, right? And the Tower isn't always negative, because it can have a positive meaning as well. But this would have been the first one. I'm like, well, all these are good. For the most part, I would say these look all good. The not for you could be a little questionable, but that could be a good card. Lots of things could be not for you, especially if I was looking at the context. I'm like, well, there's this recovery card up here. There's a Nine of Pentacles here, and all these other cards on the table are really good. So, objectively, even if I just came in and just saw this, I had no clue what this reading was about, the Tower is the only card that's even questionably or arguably negative, right? So my point is, all of this is really, 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 really good. It's a really good reading, a really good energy. And so the universe is saying, hey, I want you guys to trust me, to know that, you guys have come out of a very difficult time, and a very difficult season. And I want you guys to have faith in knowing, have faith and belief in yourself, but have faith in believing and knowing that as long as you are willing to move forward using your free will, I've got your back, because the universe isn't going to change our free will. We have free will for a reason. And so, so if you trust the universe to have your back and you step out in faith, just the universe has got you. That's what this Nine of Pentacles, all that circling back around to this Nine of Pentacles, the universe has your back. All right, so let's take a look here. We have gifts, we have guidance, and we have opportunity. So the gift card says, you are uncovering new talents that will land you new work and a better position. You could get more money with the deal as well. So yeah, the universe is saying like, hey, a new position, better work, more money. It's out there. It's waiting for you, right? Opportunity. Doors are opening up for you. You have the chance to change jobs, start a business, or invest in a new venture. And right here at the bottom, it says, just do it. This card literally just said everything that I just said. And I did not know that that's what that card says while I was going on my big long tangent just now. I wasn't looking at that card. I wasn't reading it. And it literally said the same thing that just came out of my mouth. And then we have guidance. Divine forces are showing you the way to go. You are discovering another piece of your destiny and your purpose in life, which again is everything that I just said. That the universe has your back, but you have to trust the universe. The divine forces are doing everything in their power to ensure your success. Nine of Pentacles, ensuring your success, recovery. Things are about to financially get better. The only thing that's going to prevent you from tapping into this beautiful abundance, just like for those of you looking for love, the only thing that's going to prevent you from tapping in and finding this new love is ourselves. We are our own worst enemies. And so as long as we can get out of our own way, we can trust that the universe has our back, we take responsibility for our lives, and we take action. That's part of being responsible. We can't just sit back and, oh, that tarot reading said that new love and new career, blah, 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 blah. That's not how this works. That's not how this works. And for those of you who watch tarot readings and just crossing your fingers and just hoping that because the tarot reader said, well, this person's going to come and they get this new love and this, that, and the other. That's not how this works. And you're going to be very disappointed. And you're just going to keep repeating the same thing. You're going to be waiting and waiting and waiting. You're going to keep watching tarot readings, obsessively watching tarot readings. Well, when's that person going to show up? The tarot reader said someone's going to come back. Someone either from my past is going to come back, or this new love's going to come in, or this new job, or this or that, or whatever. And you're always waiting. You're always waiting, and nothing changes, right? Why? Why does nothing change? Because we are the change, right? We are the magicians, the magician card in tarot. We're not waiting on anything. You either create it or you don't have it. You either take action or you don't get it, right? Very, 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 very few times in life do we get a freebie, a handout. I'm not saying that we never get free gifts from the universe. Sometimes we do. But that's like maybe 3 to 5% of the time, right? Like maybe 3 to 5% of the time, in life, do we get a freebie, meaning the universe just gives you something for nothing. You're sitting at home eating potato chips. You're not doing shit, right? You weren't trying. You weren't putting forth an effort. Sometimes you weren't even awake. You're just asleep. You wake up the next day and cool, you get a free gift from the universe. Serendipity, fate, destiny, something happens. But that's rare. That's really, really rare. 95% of the time, we have to do something. We have to participate. We have to co-create. We have to collaborate with the universe and the invisible forces to get what we want out of life. That's how this stuff works. And so anyways, this is the reading. I hope that this was helpful for you. I apologize for going on all the tangents and all the things. If you like this video, and you haven't already, of course, please like, comment, subscribe, and share. Come join me for a free live tarot reading, all the things. Also, stay tuned for more readings and more updates. If there's anything else, is there anything else? I can't think of anything else. So thanks again. And as always, hey guys, thank you so much for checking out this video. If you haven't already, please like, share, subscribe to the channel. All the other information is in the description box below. And as always, my friends,
I'm not a bloody psychic.